All right, I'd like to welcome everyone here this afternoon. This is Mrs. Rogers' first grade. I'm Mrs. Van Weston, their music teacher, and Miss Terry back here has been working with them since Mrs. Rogers has been on maternity leave, but I hear she's coming back, right? Coming back pretty soon. May 10th, awesome. So we are excited to present our play, The Little Red Hen.
Once upon a time, there was a little hen who lived on a big farm. She had several yellow chicks and sees lots of animal friends. One morning, as the little red hen scratched around the barnyard, she uncovered some grain of wheat. Excited at her big discovery, she called out to her friends and neighbors, saying,
"If we plant these lovely seeds, we'll have more grain than we need." Who will help me sow the seeds? I'd rather do it alone. Oh, who will help me sow the seeds? I can do it on my own. I'd rather do it alone. Not I, said the seed dog. Not I, said the cowboy cat. Not I, said the seed dog. Not I, said the little cat. Not I, said the seed goose. Then,
So the little red hen planted the seeds all by herself.
what a lovely day to plant my seeds.
After many days of beautiful sunshine, and nights of soft rain, the wheat began to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. Thrilled with the tall golden grain, she called out for her friends and neighbors, saying,
If we reap this lovely wheat, we'll soon have bread to eat. Help me reap the wheat, I'd rather not do it alone. Oh, who help me reap the wheat, I could do it on my own. I'd rather not do it alone. Not I, said the ski dog, not I, said the cowboy cat, not I, said the ski dog, not I, said the zombie cow, not I, said the ski goose.
So the little hen reaped the wheat and all by herself. Very carefully she cut the wheat and threw it into bundles. The next day was time to take the wheat to the mill so it could be ground into flour. Eagerly she called out to her friends and neighbors, saying,
If we take this to the mill, we will certainly have our fill. Who will help me grind the grain and ram it to the load? Oh, who will help me grind the grain? I can do it on my own. I'd rather not do it alone. Not I, said the ski dog, not I, said the cowboy cat, not I, said the ski dog, not I, said the zombie cow, not I, said the ski goose.
So the little hen trudged off to the mill with her large bundles of grain.
What a lovely day for a walk to the mill.
In a few hours, she was back home in the barnyard with her lovely sack of fine flour. By this time, the little hen and her chicks were quite hungry.
Hungry.
Angrily, she called out from the neighbors, saying,
When we turn this flour into bread, we will have meals for days ahead. Who will help me bake the bread? I'd rather not do it alone. Oh, who will help me bake the bread? I could do it on my own. I'd rather not do it alone. Not I, said the ski dog, not I, said the cowboy cat, not I, said the ski dog, not I, said the cowboy cat, not I, said the ski goose.
So the little hen rolled out the dough all by herself, thinking what a lovely day to roll out the dough and bake some bread. She kindness with care and rolled out the dough, flame with love, and carefully put in the oven. Before long, the animals began to gather as the smell of baking bread, and the little hen believed herself sitting at her table with plates, glasses, napkins, and silverware, and fresh butter.
Wow, this is rough, really rough. Yeah, maybe I'll have some bread with my milk. Maybe she'll have some crackers too. Come on, move over. Now let's not have a hissy fit. Now that the bread's baked, we wonder if anyone will be invited to a turn of fruit or have you join with none. At the table, with the little red hen. At the table, just tell us when. Now that the bread's baked, we wonder if anyone will partake and trace a bit, or have we made a mistake? At the table, with the little red hen. At the table, just tell us when. At the table, just tell us when.
When the bread was baked to put a perfect golden brown, the little hen and her chicks sat down. As they were about to join their special feast, the little hen nodded all of her barnyard friends and neighbors. She smiled sweetly, turned to them, and recently read the poem.
So many times I asked for help, but you were not inclined to give me your assistance or support or your time. So now that the deed is done and we have bread to eat, don't you feel a little guilty that you didn't help plant the wheat or come to my assistance when it was time to reap or grind it or even knead it into dough? No, you didn't even mind it.
The animals hung their heads and chained. The little red hen was right. They didn't deserve any reward as they didn't anything right.
This was rough. I'm sorry. Yeah, I have no excuse. I'm sorry. I guessed out every time you asked for help. The little tree That is not the way how friends should be.
A lesson now you each have learned, you only get what you have earned.
The literate hen truly believed that each of the animals had learned an important lesson. After gathering them together, she made room for every one of them around the table, her table. And the next time someone thinks to ask, I hope you'll help them do the task. In the meantime, take a seat and share the goodness that comes from
Growing wheat.